Hello, hello. We're back with our best year ever in 2020. I'm Judy Best with eXp Realty. If you're a mom, hang around and chat with us for a minute because we're going to be talking all things mom today. We know there's things that you're dealing with during this special time that we're in right now. We're not going to call it anything other than special because there are opportunities and challenges in every season, and they are what you make of them. So tell me how you're doing right now with this season. Click one of the emojis that describes how you're feeling, and we'll know it's not about us, but it's just how you're feeling today. So let that rip. If you're watching this live, let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching it later on a video replayed, drop a hashtag replay in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. We want to know. Today, my special guest is Dora Curry. I met Dora last year. Was it last year, Dora, that I met you? And at one of the Women Influencers events, well, actually, I had I said, who can meet me at Honey Pies, which is now Blue Cake. And Adora was one of the ones that popped in, and we became friends. And I'm so excited to have Adora with me here today. She works at Pulaski Tech. One of the projects she's working on right now is the Diamond Chef competition, which they can't do live right now. So they're figuring out what they're going to do next. But one of the things that I love about Adora is she has a ministry called Hers. And it's about single mothers trying to make their way in a new situation and thrive in it. And Adora is doing that. Adora, thank you for being my guest today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Do you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I'm a super single mom. I have two boys, which is really interesting. I have a 15-year-old and I have a 9-year-old, and I'm an only child. So I really wish I had a handbook, but I feel like I'm starting to create one for those that come after me. But it's really fun. I've been a single mom for about 7 years. I'm originally from Colorado, and then I lived in Maryland, and I came home to the South to be closer to my parents to get some support with my kids, but they do live an hour and some change away. So it's still kind of a super single mom, but I love the Arkansas, like Southern hospitality and fresh air and good food and all of that good stuff.
Awesome. And if you want to plug into her single mother ministry, definitely drop a comment that you want more information about hers. And Adora will be watching comments, whether it's now or on replay, and she'll be reaching out to you so she can plug you into her ministry. Do you have a group page, Adora?
Yeah, we do have a group page. It's called Hers Single Moms Ministry. It's on Facebook. If you type Hers, it's H.E.R.S. It's an acronym for hope, encouragement, resources, and support for the single mom. We started it out of the Church of Rock Creek, but all single moms are welcome, and friends, women friends who love us. It's just basically a sisterhood where we just love on one another. And we meet weekly. We have group meets. When we meet in person, we usually do different types of workshops, whether it's finances, learning about how to take care of your car, health and fitness, Zumba classes. We just do stuff together all year long. Yeah. And we're always looking for new ideas and new people who have something that they want to offer and share. And like I said, even though it's for single women, it's to uplift all women. So everybody's welcome.
Well, and one of the things we know right now in this time is moms are needing some ideas, some support, some encouragement. So we're here to cheer on the moms today. We're coming up on Mother's Day, and we know that Mother's Day is going to look a little different this year. Even if our state opens up, it's still going to look different. And so we want to make sure everyone is doing good. and has hope, as Dora said. So one of the things that we were talking about earlier, we had a brief chat so we could make sure what we wanted to talk about today. We wanted to talk about the things that you guys are talking about. And so Dora says one of the struggles right now is the AMIs.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I'm not dealing with that because I don't have children at home anymore, but my daughter-in-law, Amy, is doing AMIs with my first grader and Olivia, and she's struggling with even sitting down and doing video chats on their tablets with their teacher. Tell me how it's going at your house, Dora.
Well, it's so funny. As an event planner, I kind of pride myself on being very organized and by the book and very routine based. And I have had to chuck that out the window so many times and just like learn to go with the flow. I don't know if you can hear my kid in the background blowing his nose about that. But that's the life of the single mom, right? But I have to say, like, God bless the teachers, because I did not realize how real the struggle was to manage a classroom with 20 or 30 kids when I'm trying to manage a household with 2 kids and work at the same time. So AMI, oof. I will say, it's added probably 30 more gray hairs to my head.
It's cover now.
Right. And that's probably the downside of it. But the good side of it is it's twofold. The good side of it is, one, you get to interact with your children more because you're doing more one-on-one. And we get so busy. I realized, I was telling my mom this the other day, in the hustle and bustle of like everyday life. You know, we get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and it's, you know, get dressed, get breakfast, get everybody out the door, get to work. And then you see each other again at 8 hours later. You have to make dinner. You have to check homework. You got to get baths, put everybody in the bed. And so this has blessed us in the sense that we don't have to do all of that. We wake up together, we eat together. I know exactly what they're working on. I can sit next to them and work on it with them, or realize what I thought I did know and I didn't know, especially when it comes to like Common Core math and things of that sort. But then on the other side, it's a blessing too, because you really get to know your kids as people. I've discovered my 15-year-old, we tease him a lot and we call him lazy because he likes to be on the Xbox and the PlayStation and his cell phone all the time. But he had a paper to write for English, and this kid read As I Lay Dying and Beloved by Toni Morrison. He read each book in one day. Wow. And then he was able to write a really fantastic paper about it. And I discovered this child who is really good at science is actually very gifted with English, and he's very intuitive. My 9-year-old took to a YouTube video and wanted to learn how to take guitar, and he's been giving himself guitar lessons every day. So you start to learn their personalities a lot more so than we did before the situation happened, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder, any of your viewers out there, have you guys discovered any great things from this time off that you probably otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity to do?
Yeah. Well, and one of the things, my mom is watching. Hi, Mom. She and I have been having daily talks because she's in Springfield, Missouri, and she is by herself, and she's been by herself during this entire self-isolation time. And she said that I probably know more things about her than I ever knew. And she knows more things about me because we're having those daily talks. And when you're having a daily talk, you talk about different things than you would normally talk about. And the same thing is happening with you, is with extra time with the kids, you're finding out things about them and their likes and dislikes that it just doing dinner and getting them their baths and stuff, you miss out on it. So.
I see Jeffrey says he's not a great school teacher. Amen to that. I'm not either. I know.
Well, Jeff's a realtor up in the Lake of the Ozarks area, and he has a son. I think that Huck is about 12 now, if I'm right. So, but it's a challenge teaching even for the dads.
Oh, yeah.
So
we
you were
have,
saying that you're having trouble with devices, having enough devices for everyone to get their stuff done.
yeah, so my situation is really unique in the sense that my parents live in rural Arkansas. And so there's no Wi-Fi access where they live. And so the first couple of weeks when this started, we were having to, and let me back up and say, my parents they're elderly, so we felt it was best to go just everybody be in one household so we could help take care of them and have the kids and everybody and just be safe. So in theory, it was a great idea. It still is, but where they live, there's no access to Wi-Fi. And so I was packing the kids up in my Jeep and driving to the local library, which is about 10 miles out, and popping the hatchback. And we put the 9-year-old in the trunk with a laptop. I was in the middle, and then the high schooler was in the front seat. And we were accessing the Wi-Fi from the local library. And it just made me think about, a lot of people, like, access is something that we definitely take for granted. And I saw it, I think it's Whitehall and the Pine Bluff School District. I applaud them. They had a bus, I believe, that parks in certain locations, and people can just drive up and utilize the Wi-Fi so that the kids can connect to get their homework done. You don't realize what a blessing that is until you're in a situation like that. And I know the Little Rock School District was doing where you could go and pick up tablets. They did a survey, and any family that needed tablets or Chromebooks, they were renting those out to people. But it's great to have it, but what do you do when you can't connect? And I do applaud AT&T and all of the other companies that are providing that. But again, this is Arkansas. A lot of our cities out here are very, very rural. And so, a lot of the learning that's going on in our household with my kids is coming from kind of what you'd say the school of hard knocks, in the sense that they're doing gardening and science outside by playing in the yard, by helping Papa pull weeds and, dig up plants in the yard, or, things of that sort. Education's taken on a creative approach, but I think it's, in the long run, it'll be good for everybody.
My daughter-in-law, Amy, her Octavia and Olivia, Octavia's only 3, so she's not in school yet, but they are fascinated by caterpillars right now.
Yeah.
So I have a big backyard that's very wooded, and they found a couple of caterpillars out there, and so they're nurturing them. Well, they had to come back over the weekend because they had been researching it online, and they learned that caterpillars only want to eat the foliage that they had been living in. So they were giving it foliage from their house, and the caterpillars didn't want it. So they had to come over. It was so funny watching them going around the backyard trying to find leaves and things that they're trying.
Yeah. But see, that's priceless. And it's funny, like, we used to make fun of my dad, my cousins and I, because he would always tell the stories, when I was growing up, I had to walk 5 miles to school. And
we did.
Yeah. And I'm like, but you kids are going to be telling these stories. Like, when I was growing up, we couldn't go to school, and we
had to wear face masks.
History is repeating itself.
Yeah. Well, and my one of my nieces has a new baby that's about 18 months old now, and she was a preemie, so she was in NICU for a while. And she's watched her mom clean and clean and clean and clean, and washing hands. And the little girl is got a little rag, and she's constantly cleaning things now. We're going to have a lot of kids that are like Howie Mandel.
Right. Probably not even that. Just
Yeah. Are you? I just want to ask this of the folks that are watching: are the kids in your household doing anything unusual during these times? What are their responses? It'd be interesting to hear that. Dora, one of the other things we talked about was the stimulus checks that we all just got. And some people are probably still waiting for them. Have you all got your stimulus checks? Say yes if you got your stimulus checks. We want to know. And you were talking about somebody you saw on TV yesterday talking about using your stimulus checks. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Absolutely. I think, you know, I saw a show, I forgive me, I don't remember the name of it, but it was basically giving advice on what to do with stimulus checks. And I thought, especially, this applies to anybody, but especially for single parent households. You obviously take care of your four walls. So, you make sure your lights are on, you make sure you have food and everything. But with that extra money, now is a great time to put that in savings or to pay off bills if you have the means to do so. And so what I was saying is, our family has lived in an apartment since I got divorced 7 years ago. And I think as a single mom, one of the things that I really wanted for my older son was to have a house and have his own space. I didn't want my teenager to grow up like sharing a room with his 9-year-old. But I, have struggled like trying to repair my credit and all those things over the years to get to a place where I could do that. And so now, we're staying with our parents. I don't spend as much money because I don't have to go to work and go out to lunch every single day. I'm not spending money on gas, driving to and fro. We don't spend as much money on groceries. And so that money that I normally spend, I've been putting away and slowly just, either making payments or completely paying off things on my credit report. And what I was telling Judy and my mom earlier is that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that actually getting a house is attainable, because you have the opportunity, if you have the means to do so with your stimulus check, to make a plan and follow it. And also with your kids, you're leading by example. You're being disciplined and you're showing them how to take care of your responsibilities and to achieve a big goal that you have at the end.
Yeah, to wait for something that you really want and make a plan to get there. It's like, I remember when Eric, our son, he's 38 now, he wanted his first, I don't even know what it was back then, probably was a Nintendo game.
Uh-huh.
And we told him, if you do chores and earn some money around the neighborhood, to half of the cost of that, we'll pay the other cost at that time. Well, it really teaches kids that they have to work and wait to get what they want, instead of us just going out and buying it for them. And we did that over and over with him, and he really learned that. And I think it's true right now that so many young people, and I'm including you in that group, Dora, don't believe that home ownership is possible for them.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that you find a way to make that dream come true. And I'm happy to help you make a plan. If you are renting now and you need credit repair, I would love to be a channel of hope for you. So would Dora, because she offers financial advice or financial advice through people she knows in her ministry, right?
Absolutely. And I just want to say too, discipline isn't always about like, I think discipline sometimes gets a bad rep as like a bad word, like it's punishment. It's not. And so I am teaching my kids discipline through example by paying off my bills. My older son and I, well, actually all three of us have been cooking a lot more. And that too is a way that we can save money and say, like, we wanted to go out to eat at this restaurant. Let's figure out how to make our favorite dish from that restaurant and put that money aside. Because what do they say? Do you remember the saying about your thoughts become actions and habits, or I'm totally butchering it, but I think it's a good way to instill that into your children without always thinking that, sacrificing something is bad, because it's not.
No, it's not. And that's one of the things I would like us to just kind of segue into now, is how you're making these times a special time with your kids. Because when things are hard, it's easy to make it hard on the whole family. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's fun ways to make these times special. So let's talk about that for a minute. Dora, do you have any suggestions?
Well, I have tried to be more intentional about spending time with them. Again, I have boys. They like to play video games. And while I'm not big on them playing video games all day and all night, we have taken to them letting me play and them whooping my tail in a game. But just, so we're doing something fun and competitive together. For the AMI, they have exercises for PE. They have experiments for science. I've participated in them. We had a badminton tournament in my parents' backyard. The boys and it was fun because we rotated out. We acted like it was a U.S. Open. They beat me. But it was fun to participate, and I was getting physically fit. You can't complain. And it's a good way to teach them about your perspective, because my mom used to say I was like Pollyanna because I'd try to find the positive out of a situation, out of a circumstance. But honestly, like when you complain about something, and it's okay to lament about things, but after you lament, you have to change your perspective and your mindset or you're going to be miserable. And so we talk about, like, I miss my friends. Okay, you do miss your friends. It's understandable. So tomorrow morning, let's email people and see if we can get on a Zoom call, or we can schedule a game day, or, and so we've just been very intentional about talking about things, but then, being proactive to make it a positive. That's all you can do right now.
Well, and this is a good opportunity to teach our kids by example of taking a negative situation, a difficult situation, and finding the positive in it. Keeping a positive attitude. That doesn't mean that you're going to constantly have a positive attitude. And hopefully along the way, when you're having a bad moment or bad hour or a bad day, one of your kids will come and say, well, I see you're a little bit down, Mom.
Yeah.
What can I do to help you?
Yeah. And you can talk it out. And another thing that I've really taken to, and I did this before, like when I first found myself single, I would listen to a lot of podcasts or audiobooks. And this time especially, I've gotten to the point where I do them with my kids. My older son and I listen to the Mindset Mentor. It's like his podcast range from 7 to 12 minutes.
Oh, and that's a good length.
Yeah, he'll come up with something like, and a lot of them lately have been timely, and they've had to do with the quarantine situation, but they're all positive, like positive thinking. And so we listen to that in the morning when we get ready in the shower to kind of like start our day and kind of just put us in the right mindset. We do Bible study. Obviously, hers is from the church at Rock Creek, so we do Bible studies together. The Bible app, I think that's on everybody's smart device. Actually, when you click on it, they have plans, and they have little Bible studies, and they're really, really short. So I went and found the youth ones, and we sit around the table before breakfast. We only do it once a week, but we'll, do the little thing together, and then we'll discuss it. And then we found some audiobooks. I did an audiobook with women's influencers. It was The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. And we've gone in and out between like historical things, stuff that's just for fun, and even kids' stories like Beverly Cleary. I've shared with them some of the books I liked when I was their age. And we listen to stuff together and we discuss it.
Yeah, I knew you had a book club going with women influencers. I haven't jumped into that yet, but what a great idea that you could do one as a family.
Yes.
With the families that you're connected to.
Mm-hmm. And we've done some fun ones. I think especially, because everybody's binge watching like Netflix and Hulu as well.
Yeah.
Find something that is on Netflix or Hulu that was also a book, and to compare and contrast, because then you're still infusing education in it, but it's a fun family activity.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I didn't know about my first grader was that she was old enough now to play card games.
Yes.
And we had isolated away from our grandkids initially, but now I have had them over a couple, 3 times. Mm-hmm. And because we were all still working with the dad, our son works in our business. So he was taking our germs home every day, and he was bringing his germs to us at work every day. Right. So we decided we were just suffering for no good reason at that point. But she was over and she had an Uno game and she wanted to play. She's really good at Uno first grade, and it was fun to be able to sit down and play with her, not necessarily being cutthroat. I'm not trying to win, but I wasn't trying to lose, and she won. So there's things that you can do with all of them. When my son was a little boy, he would have wanted me to sit down and play, like you said, the video games with him. And he would gladly either hand off the controller so I could take a turn, or we would both have them. We'd be having some challenge together, which is.
Yeah. And it's good to just have an even balance, like, be cognizant of the times we live in. We're in a technology age, so you can do some technology things with them, but you can also get outside and, go for a walk if you're able to do that, or plant something in the yard, or even we have a little projector. We just put the projector up against the wall and we have movies in the driveway, just, yeah, you get as creative as you want. We've done some of the virtual tours that they've had at some of the museums. And then we got really goofy last week, and I think they had a tribute to Prince on Thursday. So we went and got the little glow sticks from the Dollar Tree, and I stuck them to the boys, and we turned all the lights out, and we had a little dance party. It's just good to show your kids your personality while you're learning theirs. That's probably the greatest blessing from this season,
Yes. Well, and I would encourage you to let your personality come out wherever you are, whether you're at home alone or whether you're at home with kids or whatever. One of the things that last week a band was playing on TV, and I was sitting in my chair that I always sit in, and the music, made me want to move, and I got up and I danced all over the sunroom. That made me feel so much better, just getting on my feet and moving. When music comes on, I am a mover. And so it's part of my personality. And so when my littles are here visiting, they'll say, "Are we having a dance party, Grandma?"
Yeah.
They call me Mimi. "Are we having a dance party, Mimi?" And it's like, yes, let's have a dance party. And so I will talk to Alexa. I got to say her name low because she will talk back. And I ask her for a dance mix, and she plays it. I asked her for a mom joke just before we started this. I already told Dora this. I said, "Tell me a mom joke." And I said that person's name back there. And she said, "Your mom is so funny. She made the Mona Lisa crack a smile." So that was funny. She was telling me lots of jokes.
I see Jeffrey says, if you're not cheating, are you really trying to win? I'm going to tell you, I have two boys who are cutthroat. I try to win by any means necessary. I've been known to trip a little kid.
Yeah, if you're not winning, there's no reason to lose. Yeah, we've said that in our family a lot, haven't we, Jeff? Okay, Adora, we're going to wrap up here, but tell me what your last tips are that you would like to give to moms and or dads that are out there alone with kids and are trying to make their way.
Okay, well, I would say I have three quick ones. One, do it for the kids. So take advantage of the situation, and just think about your kids and what you want their takeaways to be in the long run when this is all over. Those days when you don't feel motivated to get out of the bed, especially if it's work related, do it for the kids because they're watching you. But also, if you make mistakes or you don't achieve that goal that you're supposed to do for that day, that's okay too. And let them know it's okay because it's not perfect. Things change. The biggest mistake you can make is to try to be perfect because that's when something's always going to happen. Number two, make sure you make time for yourself. While your kids are important, you do have to take care of yourself, whether it's listening to audiobooks like I do, doing your nails, cooking, going outside for your own walk or whatever. You deserve your personal time and to be in your personal mental space and to find your joy and self-care. There you go. And then my third one is to reciprocate your service. I think especially as single people, we've been in situations where we've needed help, and it's humbling to ask for help, but also remember there's people out there who need help and who might not necessarily ask for help. They might not necessarily say that they're lonely or they need to be checked on. So, that adage, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Make sure that you're making a list at least once or twice a week, and you can do it with your kids, of people that you haven't spoken to in a while, whether it's a friend, a family member, a neighbor, whatever, and check on people. Write them a handwritten thing, call somebody on the telephone, or schedule a big old group chat on Zoom, whatever, just to connect with people and let them know you care. And I think that's it. Just, we can make lemonade out of this situation.
Absolutely. My mom has some Sidewalk Talk, and she sits by her front window. She's not seeing a lot of activity out there, but I told her to sneak out there when no one was around and draw a hopscotch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Path in front of her window. And I said, you just sit by your window and watch and see how many people walk up to that, look at it, and decide whether they're going to hopscotch or not.
It feels so good to make other people smile.
Yes. And if she does that, she makes them smile. Plus, she gets to smile too. She gets to see some activity outside her window. Hey, it's been fun today, Dora. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I hope that when you're ready to buy your home, you'll reach out to me. And if I can help you in the meantime with anything that you're working on, I would love to. If you guys have any tips for Dora, how she can do her Diamond Chef competition, she would love to hear from you, because she's thinking about it and they're going to make it happen, even if it's virtual. And if you would like to be on her mailing list or her email distribution list to receive information about that, do you have such a list?
I do. Actually, you can right now send me a personal email, because I have a couple of different projects on the fire. So my personal email address is Adora, ADORA.Nicholson, NICHOLSON @gmail.com. And remember, I have the Her Single Moms Ministry. You are welcome to join the group. We meet regularly. We do different workshops on basic tips, and a lot of times kids are welcome to participate as well, like the car care. We brought teenagers in to learn that. And then with Diamond Chef, which is the big cooking competition, we are considering possibly doing it virtually. But either way, I would just love to hear from any of you on either of those. So just reach out and let's chat.
And when this is over, if you would drop, Dora, if you would drop that link to your Facebook page group into this comments, or you can do it now. That way everyone can find it and come over there and join you, because I know you are such an encouragement. Last year when I met you and you talked about this, I don't know if you remember this, but I was so excited to know you had taken a situation in your own life and you had created a ministry around it. And I believe that is exactly what our Father has us on earth to do, is we go through things and then we have a ministry from the things we have come out the other side of.
Absolutely. We're meant to be in community. And so the more, the merrier. And like I said, nothing brings me greater joy than to make other people smile. So
absolutely.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad to have you here. She and I both put on makeup and got our hair all pretty for you guys, but we don't wear makeup every day right now. And that's part of our self-care, is we're letting it go. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you back here next Monday at 11:30. I'm here every Monday with your best year ever in 2020. We are still going to have our best year ever, because we're going to come out the other side of this.
Yes.
Thank you guys. We'll see you guys later.